Have you ever taken the leave from school due to sickness? So, have you ever been absent from school because you were sick? What happens exactly when we become sick? Sometimes we feel good even without taking any medicines, and sometimes we need to consult a doctor and take regular medicines in sickness. Why is it so? So, this depends on what is the cause of our sickness, what has occurred in our body that made us sick, and because of that, sometimes we feel better, and sometimes, if we continue to feel worse, then we have to go to the doctor and take medicines. Health. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well beingness, and not merely the absence of any disease. So, what is exactly health? Health does not mean that if you don't have any disease, then you are healthy. It means that you have to be completely physically, mentally, and socially fit. And what is that? Complete physical means that your body, the strength of your muscles, bones, your eyesight, your senses, everything is normal. Mental is your brain function, whether you can think properly and act properly. And social is how you interact with others. So, if all this is normal, then only you can call yourself as healthy. What is a disease? Condition of disturbances in physiological or psychological processes of the body is called as disease. So the physiologic, that is the normal processes that goes on in the body, like digestion of food and production of proteins, etc., or the psychological, that is the normal thought process that goes on in the brain. So if there's any disturbance within the physiologic or psychological processes, then it leads to a disease. And each disease has its specific symptoms. So you know what are symptoms, that is, suppose you get an infection, you may develop fever. So fever is a symptom. Types of diseases. You must have heard the names of various diseases like diabetes, common cold, asthma, Down syndrome, heart disease, etc. So there are many diseases that we know of. Reasons and symptoms of all these diseases are different. So the manifestation, that is how it presents in the patient, is all different, and the causes also are different. So the common cold could be due to a virus or bacterial infection, and asthma is because of the difficulty in breathing that children have. Down syndrome is a genetic disease, and diabetes is when the pancreas cannot produce enough of insulin to digest the glucose. To bring coordination in scientific study of diseases are classified as follows. So, because there has to be a proper classification to study all the diseases, because there are numerous diseases, therefore this requires classification. So when we classify, you get types of diseases, and according to the duration, that is how long the disease is, it is classified as chronic and acute. Acute is when the disease is only for a short number of time, that is like common cold. When you get a cold, it goes away within a few days or maximum within a week it will go. But chronic diseases are for a long time, like diabetes. These diseases are not easily curable and they persist for a long time. Or it can be classified according to the reason, that is the cause of the disease. Hereditary diseases like Down syndrome. These diseases are because of the parents giving it to the child. So the child, when he is born, he has the disease. And acquired diseases is when while we are growing we get the disease from outside, like infectious diseases because of bacteria, fungus, virus, etc., like common cold, flu, dengue, etc. And non-infectious diseases like diabetes, heart diseases. These diseases we are not born with, and we don't get it through other microorganisms, but we get it due to defect in our own body processes. So this is how we classify diseases. Can you tell how do the following diseases spread? Hepatitis. Hepatitis is a disease that is caused by a virus, that is the hepatitis virus. Malaria. Malaria is a disease that is spread via mosquitoes, but it is caused by a parasite which is present in the mosquito. So when the mosquito bites us, the parasite is put inside our blood. Scabies. Scabies is also a parasite that is present on the skin, and this causes itching. TB. TB is a lung disease caused by tuberculosis bacteria. Dengue is a virus that is spread by mosquito bites. Dysentery is when we get severe diarrhea, and this can be caused by bacterial or parasitic organisms. Ringworm is because of, it's not exactly a worm, but it is caused by a fungus. And swine flu is flu like symptoms, that is cough, cold, that is caused because of virus. What do we mean by a pathogen? Pathogen is the organism that causes the disease. That is why, since it is causing a pathology in the body, it is called a pathogen. What do we mean by infectious diseases? Infectious diseases is when we get diseases because of bacteria, fungus, virus or parasites, and some of these diseases can be transmitted to other people just by spread and by closeness. Now we will see infection through sputum. So how infection is spread through sputum, that is the saliva or spit that is present in our mouth. So when we talk, cough, sneeze or sing or anything, then we are removing a little bit of spit that comes out of our mouth, and if this spit contains any pathogen, then it can spread to another person who is standing in front of you. So here they are showing that in this area small droplets are vaporized into fine mist. So if they are very tiny droplets, then they become vaporized in the air. Mist remains in the air for several minutes to few hours. So when we spit in front, the mist will remain in the air for several minutes to few hours, and the pathogen will also be present in this. Larger droplets of spit can settle on the ground within few seconds. So as soon as you talk or anything, the spit will travel this direction and in this direction, and the smaller particles will remain on top, whereas the larger particles will settle down. That is why it is very important to protect yourself from other people who have the disease, and to also prevent yourself from giving the disease to other people. Now we will study about infectious diseases. Diseases spread through contaminated air, water, food or vectors, that is insects and other animals, are called as infectious diseases. So if we eat dirty and contaminated food and water, or if we come in contact with contaminated air, we can get certain infectious disease, or we can get them through vectors such as animals and insects. So what are vectors? Vectors are certain insects and animals that do not cause the disease themselves, but because they have the pathogen in them, when we come in contact with these vectors, we can acquire the pathogen. Therefore, that is how the infectious disease can spread. So this is a table that tells us of a few very important infectious disease. The first column tells us the name of the disease. The second column will tell us the pathogen, that is how the disease is caused. And the third column tells us the mode of infection, that is how the disease spreads and how we can get the disease. This column tells us the symptoms. Symptoms are how we manifest the disease. And prevention and treatment. So prevention is how we can prevent ourselves from getting the disease, and treatment is that when we get the disease, what treatment should we take so that we are cured of the disease. The first disease is tuberculosis. This is a very common disease in India, and it is caused by a bacteria called as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So this bacteria infects the lungs and causes tuberculosis, which is a lung disease. And the mode of infection is by coming in contact with the spit of a patient through air, and by prolonged contact with and sharing of materials of the patient. So patient is the person who has the disease, and their spit contains the Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria. So if we come in contact with the spit, we can get tuberculosis. That is why these patients are kept in isolation until they are cured of the disease. And therefore, if the patient is inside the house and there are other people living with them, then they can get the disease by sharing the other things that the patient is using. That is why it is very important to keep these patients in isolation and not to use the same things that they are using. The symptoms are chronic cough. So we had seen earlier what is acute and chronic. Chronic is when the disease is present for a long time. So this disease causes a chronic cough, that is a cough which is present for a long time. Bloody spitting, that is the spit contains droplets of blood. Emaciation and difficulty breathing. So because this disease affects the lungs, we will have difficulty in breathing and we will not be able to breathe properly. The prevention of this disease is a vaccine called as BCG vaccine. So if we take this vaccine, then we will not get the disease. And isolation of patient. So if we keep the patient in a separate room and we do not use the same things of the patient, then we will not get the disease. And regular medication with DOT. So this is a treatment that is given to patients that already have tuberculosis. The second disease is hepatitis, and this disease causes jaundice. Jaundice is when you get yellowing of the skin and eyes and nails, etc. And this is caused by a hepatitis virus. There are different types of hepatitis virus and these are named as A, B, C, D, E. So how we get the disease of each of this virus is different. And each of these different viruses can cause a little different symptoms. Some are chronic and some are acute. How we get the infection is by contaminated water, sharing of needles, blood transfusion, etc. So if we take contaminated water, if we drink this water that already has the virus, then we can get the virus. The contaminated water usually spreads hepatitis A and E. And the sharing of needles, that is when you use the same needle that you have used on another person in hospitals, then we can get the hepatitis virus if one of them have the virus. And by blood transfusion, so sometimes when there is an accident, there is a loss of blood and we need to give the patient the blood. So when we transfuse this blood from another patient, then if we use the blood that is from a patient who already has the hepatitis virus, then this patient who does not have the virus will also get it. And the hepatitis virus that is transmitted through sharing of needles and blood transfusion is the viruses B and C. So it is very important to not use the same needle on the different people. So if you use a needle on one person, we need to discard it. Therefore, hospitals and doctors take very precautious measurements so as to not use same needles. And they also test the blood before transfusion so that hepatitis viruses cannot be spread. The symptoms of this are anorexia. Anorexia is when you don't feel like eating and because of that you lose a lot of weight. Yellow urine. General weakness, when you are very tired and fatigued without doing any work. Nausea and vomiting is when you feel giddy and you feel like vomiting. And grey stools is when your stools are grey in color. So your skin becomes yellow, your urine becomes yellow and the stools become grey. The prevention and treatment. So you should always drink boiled water so that when you boil the water, all the virus, if it is there in the water, will be killed. And proper cleaning of hands so that if you come in contact with this virus and you clean your hands, even if you eat food with that hands, you will not get the virus. So this is when you get severe watery diarrhea. And this is caused by a number of pathogens. So this disease is not caused by a single bacteria or virus, but many different types of bacteria and parasites can cause this disease. So bacteria and viruses can cause it. Then Shigella and Bacilli are different types of bacteria that cause this disease. And a parasite that causes this disease is called as Entamoeba histolytica. They are spread through contaminated food and water. So if we eat dirty food and water when we get on roadside, or if the water is not properly boiled, and if the food and water contains any of the pathogens that cause dysentery, then we can also get the dysentery. In this we will get watery stools and pain in the abdomen. So we will get stomach ache and watery stools that are multiple times in a day. So usually we get stools only about 1 or 2 times a day. But in this, it is so severe that we will get it multiple times a day. We can prevent this disease by only having boiled water, that is, drinking boiled water and proper storage of food. So, when we keep the food clean and properly and then only we consume it, then we will not get this disease. And when we get this disease, there is severe watery diarrhea. So, a lot of water is lost in our body and our body gets dehydrated. Therefore, we will take an ORS consumption. So, ORS is a solution in which there is sugar, salt, and water so that we can replenish the lost water and sugar and salt from our body. And our body will not get dehydrated. The next disease is cholera. This is caused by a bacteria called as Vibrio cholera. So this is a bacterium that causes this disease. It is also transmitted by contaminated food and water. So if we eat contaminated food and water which has Vibrio cholera, then we will get cholera disease. In this disease, we will get vomiting and severe diarrhea and cramps in the legs. So, because this disease affects the GIT, that is the gastrointestinal tract, we will get vomiting and severe diarrhea, which is also watery. So, again, it is similar to dysentery. And we will get cramps in our legs because of the amount of time we will be sitting in the toilet, and also because of the loss of water and dehydration in our body. So we can prevent this disease by following hygienic, that is clean practices, that is always washing our hands before eating and drinking only boiled and clean water and food. And avoiding open place food, that is avoiding junk food and outside food. Drinking boiled water and vaccination against cholera. So there is a vaccination which is available against cholera, and if we take this vaccination, then we will not get cholera. The next disease is typhoid, and this is also a very common disease in India. This disease is also caused by a bacteria, but this bacteria's name is Salmonella typhi. So Salmonella typhi will cause typhoid. Contaminated water and food is the cause of the disease. So again, if we eat contaminated food and water that contain Salmonella typhi, then we will get typhoid. This disease causes anorexia, in which you do not feel like eating food and you will lose a lot of weight. It causes headache, rash on the abdomen, dysentery and fever up to 104 degree Fahrenheit. So it causes a very high fever, and it also is one of the causes of dysentery, in which we see severe watery diarrhea. And because of the diarrhea and because it affects the gastrointestinal tract, we will get a rash and pain in the abdomen, that is the stomach, and we will get headache and anorexia. We can also again prevent this disease by drinking clean water and vaccination and proper disposal of sewage. So if we dispose all the garbage properly, then we will not get typhoid. So we come to know from this table that most of the diseases that cause the stomach problems and diarrhea can be easily prevented by eating hygienic and clean food and by drinking boiled clean water. So make sure that you eat less of outside food and more of clean home food.